Hello everyone. Today we are going to see the design of the shaft on the torsional rigidity basis. In the last lecture we have seen strength basis, but here we are going to see on rigidity basis. Right. A transmission of the shaft is said to be rigid on the basis of the torsional rigidity when if it does not twist too much under the action of external force. When we apply the external force on the body, and if it does not twist too much, then we can say it is uh, rigid on the torsional rigidity basis. Similarly, the transmission of the shaft is said to be rigid on the basis of the lateral rigidity if it does not deflect. The deflection, it should not be there, large deflection, right? Or there will be always somewhat deflection. It should not be too much under the action of the external force. When we apply the external force on that shaft, it should not deflect too much. Then only we can say it is the rigid on the lateral rigidity basis. In few applications where we have to think of this the torsional rigidity, like in the machine tool spindle, it is necessary to design the shaft which we are using in this machine on the basis of the torsional rigidity basis. Here on the basis of that rigidity, the permissible angle of twist per meter length that we have to restrict, otherwise it may fail or it will not work properly. So in few applications we have to consider this torsional rigidity basis, the design of the shaft. The permissible angle of twist for the machine tool application in which we are using the shaft. So for that it should be of the 0.25 degree per meter length. So if the shaft is of 1 meter length, then uh, there will be angular deflection. It should be 0.25 degree. And if you are using for the line shaft, right? So for that it is the 3 degree per meter length is the maximum limiting value that we can consider, right? So in machine tool application it should be 0.25 degree, and for the line shaft application where the length of the shaft is more, in that case the 3 degree per meter length of that angle of twist it is allowed. Right, now the torsional deflection may be obtained by using the torsion equation, which already we are aware. What is the torsion equation? T by J is equal to G theta by L. T is the torque, J is the polar moment of inertia, G is modulus of rigidity, theta is angle of twist, L is length of the shaft, which already we are aware of this equation. Now we will rearrange this equation in terms of the theta angle of twist. So what happens is T into L. So here we will get T into L and G into J. So here at the denominator you will get. So theta is equal to TL divided by Gj. This equation we will get, and we know that for solid circular shaft, right? J, polar moment of inertia, is equal to pi by 32 d raised to 4. Now we will put this value here in the above equation, this J value, right? So T into L as it is, G into the value of J, pi by 32 d raised to 4. Now if you rearrange this, then this 32 it moves per side, so 32 TL divided by pi d raised to 4 into G. So this is the equation we will get. Now what we will do, whatever the angle we got, that is what in the radian. Now what we will do, we will convert this theta from radian to degree. This value we got in the radian, that will convert into the degree. So when we convert in radian to degree, we will multiply it by 180 by pi. So converting this theta, right, in radian to degree, so we will multiply this, then we will get the theta, that is the angle of twist of the shaft, is equal to 584 T into L divided by G d raised to 4. The small d is the diameter of the shaft, G is the modulus of rigidity, T is the torque, L is the length of the shaft. So in this way we can find out the permissible angle of twist of the shaft for the solid shaft even. Now if we have the hollow circular shaft, in the similar way the equation is same, theta is equal to T into L divided by Gj. Now the polar moment of inertia for the hollow circular shaft is what? Pi by 32 in bracket outer diameter is to 4 minus inner diameter is to 4. So d is to 4 minus dr is to 4. Now again we will put this value here in this equation, that value of j, and we will rearrange this, then we will get 32 at the upper side. So 32 T into L divided by pi in bracket outer diameter is to 4 minus inner diameter is to 4 into this G. Now again we will convert this theta, whatever the theta we got, that is in the radian, that we will convert it into the degree. So again we will multiply 180 by pi. So after multiplying this, we will get the equation theta is equal to, right, so what it is, 584 into T into L divided by G in bracket d raised to 4 minus dr raised to 4. This is the equation we will get. Now again, sometimes what will happen, the ratio di upon do will take. So what we will do, this outer diameter I will take outside. If I take outer diameter here, so here you will get 1 minus, so di as it is, as we have taken do, so outer side, so we have to divide by do raised to 4 here. So you will get this, and that is nothing but this ratio di upon do is equal to k, right. So this k is equal to inner diameters divided by the outer diameter. So in this way we will get the angle of twist for the hollow circular shaft, right. So thank you.